Hi, good evening, all of you. As this is a training through YouTube, I will not able to hear your voice, but don't worry. Whatever the questions you have, I suggest you put in the drop box so that I will use your name and by referring your name, I will share the questions and along with that, I will answer all the people. Okay. Now, uh, the purpose of discussion of this 21 CFR part 210211 and eCFR is if you go through the guideline, there are hardly sorry 8-10 pages of guideline. But on the contrary, if you go through the 483s or warning letters or the import alerts, there are thousands of companies or more than thousand means you can consider lakhs of companies who are getting the observation only on the basis of this 8-9 page document. Not only that, for each document, for each observation, there is a reference of the clause of 21 CFR is given. Hence, the question is, where is the problem? If it is a only 8-9 page guideline, then where is the problem? So, I would like to tell you that the problem is not in the guideline. Problem is interpretation of that guideline. The people who knows me, they are all aware about that. Always my thought process is somewhat different and in line with the FDA inspectors. I never go in a straight direction or understand the same thing. That's the reason with this topic I will take some case studies, some examples, which will help you to understand that it is a simple requirement, but how that simple requirement is really, simple requirement, but uh, at what extent the companies are getting the observations and all. Okay. So with this, I will start the training. Uh, Hope you all are aware about me. But before that, just I want to tell you that what is the overview of this training. Hope you all are aware of me. My name is Jitendra Kumar Shah. I am the CJMP consultant, auditor, and trainer from NADH plus GXP Compliance Services. I work in different companies starting from Sun Pharma, Zydus, Cadila, Alembic, US Vitamins. Along with that, I work in many multinationals also, which includes AstraZeneca, Sanofi, Mylan, and now I am the CGXP compliance consultant. We'll discuss the importance of this topic, followed by introduction to the part 210 and 211. Why I am discussing this part 210 and 211? Because if you go through the part 210, there will be very small crunch. Part 210 is for the CGMP for drugs or API, while part 211 is CGMP for the drug product or medicinal product. But if you find that part 210, it is hardly a one page. That does it mean that there is a less requirement for API? No. So that point we are going to touch upon here. We will have some subparts of 21 CFR part 211. So we will just have some introduction on the subparts because it's not possible to take all subparts here now. But yes, we'll take some points from the subparts and we will discuss and compare with some cases or some case examples how they are impacting on our routine activities. Some people join late, so I just want to tell you that if you have any question, you can drop a question in the chat box and I will refer your name and I will raise the question so that everybody will able to hear that question and followed by the I will revert back on the same question. I will answer the same question. Okay. After that, I will be discussing on the key requirement about doer and checker. You will find in the always batch record or all the most of the document that done by and check by. Many companies I have seen that the check by, the person who is doing check by is a common person and that person is moving from here and there continuously. That means the person who is signing the check by is not actually witnessing the activity or monitoring the activity. So what is the requirement of the 21 CFR that we are going to discuss? Followed by the eCFR. What is the importance of eCFR and why eCFR we need to understand, that we will be discussing. And of course, after that, I will be thankful for you because you attended the complete session. Okay. So with this, I just want to start with the importance of the GMP. Now I am using this word GMP here. The reason is, for FDA means US FDA. The GMP definition means the requirements of 21 CFR part 210 and 211 are nothing but the GMP requirement. So, failure to follow the CGMP principles could result in losing our product and production licenses. Always I put this statement for all my trainings. The reason is we need to understand the importance of this small guideline of hardly 8-9 pages guideline. But if we fail to follow the CGMP requirement, or we fail to follow the requirement of 21 CFR part 210 and 211, it could result losing our product. For example, if we are exporting to US, and if US inspectorate come here and find out that we are not complying the CGMP requirement, then FDA may stop our import, give the warning letter, so that our product in the US will be stopped. So we will lose our product in the US. Also, we may lose our production license because there are many cases, many companies are come up and they will tell, okay, we don't want business in US. We'll do the business in somewhere else. We'll do business in Europe. We'll do business in other countries. We'll do business in India. But here, I want to tell you that now all the auditors, including the FDA inspectors and even the European inspector, they will go through the observations given by the FDA. And let me tell you that all observations are exactly in line with some clause given by the 21 CFR. And 21 CFR means it's a GMP guideline. So if you extrapolate this understanding, so the GMP is applicable for all, either it is European market or Indian market or other country market or US. So the inspectorates will tell you, no, first you clear the FDA, you first clear the warning letter, you need to first clear the observations by the FDA, then we will have the business. In such a case, our production license also may be seized by the Indian government. If you are from India, if you are from other country, that country government, FDA will seize the production licenses because you are not complying to CGMP. So please don't try to understand, don't try to mess up with the US requirements or Indian requirement, because the GMP always remains the same. And that's the reason I always put this slide for all my discussion, that if we not follow the GMP requirement, then we may lose our product or production licenses. The next is, let us start with our key discussion on 21 CFR part 210. 21 CFR part 210 is mean for CGMP, good manufacturing practices, for manufacturing, processing, packing or holding of drugs. Again, I want to put your focus here is section 210 is for CGMP, for manufacturing, processing, packing or holding of drugs, while 211 is applicable for the drug product. But if you go through the requirement of part 210, it is specified that the regulations set forth in this part 211, 225, 226 of the chapter contain the minimum current good manufacturing practice for methods to be used and the facilities or control to be used. That means what? That means for drug product, whatever the requirement of part 211 also need to follow with respect to the methods to be used and the facilities or the controls are specified in part 211, which is used for the medicinal drug product. Because the main purpose of this guideline of part 210 guideline is the manufacture, processing, packing or holding of a drug or API to assure that the drug meets the requirement of the act as the safety and has the identity, strength and meets the quality and purity characteristics that it purports or is represented to possess. This is exactly guideline I have copied. My point here that I want to explain you that with this point is, if you want to follow the CGMP requirement for API or the drugs, then you cannot skip the requirement under part 211. Second thing is, with this we have to now understand the part 211 requirement. Okay, and it is given in very much detail. There are so many subparts under part 211, subpart A, B, C to subpart K. Subpart A is for general provisions. Yeah, before going ahead, I just want to tell you that under 21 CFR part 210, there was an introduction about how it is linked with the CGMP for drug products. In addition to that, they have given some definitions, key definitions. Okay, like API, what is meant by API, what is meant by excipient, and all the definitions. That's it. Now, subpart 211 is quite elaborative, and it is having subpart A to subpart K, starting from general provisions to the returns and salvage drug products. Now, really, I will tell you that as per US FDA, CGMP training means training on 21 CFR part 210 and 211 is the CGMP training. Many companies are conducting the training on some specific model. Many companies have some procedure of they will prepare some model or a module or some the training presentation, and on that basis they will conduct the training to the all employees. If that module or the training material is not based on 21 CFR part 210 and 211, it is of no use. The reason is, as per FDA requirement under the subpart B, organization and personnel, they have very clearly specified that the employees should be trained on the subpart 21 CFR part 210 and 211 with respect to their job functions. So my always suggestion is, when you are giving the training to your employees on FDA for FDA or on CGMP training, then I suggest that you can conduct the training on the basis of 21 CFR part 210, 211 all subparts. Due to time limitation, we will not able to discuss today all subparts. But yes, what we'll do, we'll discuss some key requirements which are normally oversight by the organizations. So rather than a normal discussion on detailed CGMP requirement of each part, we'll discuss about some key requirements with some key examples, how the companies are facing the problem. In the why? Because the interpretation or understanding is different. And if you wish that we want a detailed discussion, then of course no problem, we can have the detailed understanding of subpart A to K. If you want that, you can drop your message to the chat box. I will just go through that, and if many people are interested, then definitely I will conduct the training for subpart A to subpart K, all the subparts. Further, we'll discuss about the eCFR concept, that what I was telling you, because first of all we need to understand the requirement of CFR. Understanding the CFR, then only we can have the understanding on the eCFR. So with this, I just want to start with some case studies, whatever I have collected on the basis of some simple requirements. Okay, and in addition to that case studies, what we will do, what is the guideline requirement, and what is the expectation, that we will discuss. Along with that, if companies are having some observations or companies are having some issues, that also we will discuss. Okay, right? So if you are interested in the different topics, you can put your questions also, or you can put use a chat box, because so that I will revert back to you on your on this training itself. This is the basic requirement now. Let us start with this case study, personal qualification 211.25. This is a basic requirement. It is just I copied and pasted here. No change at all. Now, if you go through all complete requirement of personal qualification by 21 CFR part 2 and 1.25, can you tell me that FDA is expects training effectiveness by the organization? Or I will ask the question in different words. Whether the training effectiveness is the requirement by US FDA or not. Because if you go through this complete guideline content, you can read this. I don't want to read this. You will not find any statement with respect to the training effectiveness here. Only the last sentences are, training in current good manufacturing practice shall be conducted by qualified individuals on a continuing basis and with sufficient frequency to assure that employees remain familiar with CGMP requirements applicable to them. Now, what does it mean by then to assure that? That means the company should have the formal procedure to assure that employees remain familiar with CGMP requirement. And now tell me, how you can say that, what is the formal procedure for assuring that the people are getting the understanding or not? That means the training effectiveness. But why I am discussing this case study, because there are again most of the discussions are going on in even now currently, that there is no requirement of the FDA on the basis of personal qualification, where FDA is not insisting the training effectiveness. If you go to European guideline, Euralex volume 4, there is a very clear requirement, training effectiveness checks. But in US guideline or 21 CFR, it is not specified in detail. So, I have put this example here. Actually, what happened? As it is on the, there is some delay. So when I am putting the slide, so there will be some 10 to 15 seconds. After that, it will appear to you. So now, let me tell you this example. On 13th May 2020, a South Korean company received a warning letter. Actually, what happened? FDA has given the observations, 483 observations, and that company has reverted back to FDA. But FDA has not accepted that 483 observations, because that observations may not be up to the mark, and that's the reason FDA has given the warning letter. And if you go through last 4 lines which are highlighted, it is exactly specified by the FDA in the warning letter. Your response is inadequate. You did not address the reasons for the lapse in oversight of your training program, and you did not provide a detailed plan for assessing the effectiveness of your training. Hope you got this case. Now, why this observation? The company got this observation. Company gave the response to the 483 whatever they received on some training topic. They didn't consider the training effectiveness, because they referred the requirement of 21 CFR, where there is no any specific terminology used with respect to the you performing the training effectiveness checks. That's the reason this observation was not accepted, and further In the warning letter, FDA has clarified that they are expecting the training effectiveness checks also. With this case, I just want to again tell you that the interpretation of the guideline is very important. If you go through European guideline, you realize or other guideline, they are very clear. But in 21 CFR, it really requires to have a thought process or to put something, more thought or more understanding with respect to the requirement of the FDA. It is not the simple interpretation just like as the words we are getting it. Okay, hope you understand this requirement. Now let us have another case studies with respect to the section 211.28 personal responsibilities, and in that we will discuss about the gowning. Gowning requirements is we need to follow the gowning. Everybody, all the companies are following the gownings. I also agree, everybody will agree with this answer. But this is a one case study. I just want to tell you that I took this photograph when I went for one audit, and there I took this photograph. From this photograph, can you identify that where that person is working or what that person is dealing with? Some people will give the answer that the person may be working in parenterals or injectables. Somebody will say that the person may be working in microbiology. Somebody will say that the person may be working in the tablet section or OSD products handling. So, hope now sound is coming okay, because I got one comment that there is a problem in the sound. Everybody is getting echo. You can put the message in the drop box. So, with this case study, I just want to tell you that the person is working in printing the secondary packaging materials or cartons. The person is engaged in printing the secondary packaging material. Now, tell me whether this gowning is suitable for that. Because if you go to the requirement is very clear. Personnel engaged in manufacture, processing, packing or holding of a drug product shall wear clean clothing appropriate for the duties they perform. Protective apparel such as head, face, hand and arm covering shall be worn as necessary to protect drug products from contamination. A simple requirement. Now, the point is clothing appropriate for the duties. Now, who will decide that clothing is appropriate or not? Due to these wrong interpretations, companies are getting the problem. Or I will give some simple thing. Some companies will use the word overdoing. In GMP, there is no any such a word like overdoing. Either there is a continuous improvement or CGMP or GMP. So if somebody is using the word overdoing and they are going to revert back, my suggestion is they should not go to revert back, because they are following the GMP requirements, or I will use the word CGMP requirements. Hope you understood this point. And yeah, there is one question from Mr. Manoj Munjal. Which types of human errors required to evaluate effectiveness? I want to tell you that effectiveness we need to evaluate for CAPA, corrective and preventive action, and effectiveness is required to evaluate the trainings. So, whether it is with respect to human errors you are giving trainings, then you have to really evaluate that training effectiveness. If any kappa you are taking for the human errors, then for kappa you have to take the do the effective training effectiveness. Now the question is, which type of human errors required to evaluate? Basically, all types of trainings and all kappa need to take effectiveness or need to have the effectiveness checks. But many companies are lacking in these effectiveness checks. Okay, so I just want to tell you here that we should not restrict the requirement of effectiveness checks for human errors. It should be for all type of training and all type of you can say the kappa. I will give a simple example. In a QC analysis, you give the training. After the training, you perform the analyst qualification, and then person starts analyzing the sample. So what is meant by the analyst qualification activity? Analyst qualification activity is giving you idea about the effectiveness of the training. Yes, really the whatever the training is given to the person is sufficient or not. Now it is only with respect to analyst. What about reviewer? What about other activities like investigations? What about other activities like in production? What about other activities in warehouse? All the trainings and kappa will require the effectiveness verification. If you require a detailed discussion on this, definitely I will take a separate training session, 1 hour training session where we can have the detailed discussion on the effectiveness checks, how we can do the effectiveness checks, how we can control on the kappa, and further how we can put more control on the trainings and kappa. Because now this is current problem, because many people are also asking the same point to me, ki how we can ensure the effectiveness or how we can check the effectiveness. This is always the problem, and that's the reason. Definitely I will take a separate training. If you are interested, no problem. I will share the things, and we can have the next training session on that. In addition to that, if you are interested in some other training topic, don't worry. You can put your topic also in the chat box. It's a live chat, so that I will just evaluate, and then I can work on that other topics. So now take the another example, live example of some small case study. Design and construction requirement as per 21 CFR part 211.42. Very simple requirement, 4-5 lines only. I just copied and pasted from the guideline. The main purpose of this training is, again I am telling you, to interpret in the right direction. We should not interpret as per our interest. Interpret in the right direction. Actually, I put off the fan and AC, so that's the reason I am filling the setting, because I don't want to make you, echo or some noise problem. Okay. So this is a small 4-5 lines. Any such a building shall have adequate space for the orderly placement of equipment and materials to prevent mix-ups between different components, drug product container, closure, labeling, in-process materials or drug products, and to prevent contamination. Very simple, 5-6 line. Everybody will say, yes, it is normal requirement. But if inspector is going in the production or in a QC or in the warehouse, and if the inspector found some area is dumped with some material, or the area is dumped with some equipments are not arranged properly, that means what? That means there is no adequate space for orderly placement of equipments and materials, and inspector will directly link that observation with respect to the cross contamination or mix up of the product. So a simple requirement, but due to the space constraint in a small area, some companies will dump all the equipments. They are not orderly placed due to the inadequate space, and a small requirement lead to a small error, lead to a big problem, they may get the observation under the section 211.48 that the firm is lacking adequate space for the orderly placement of equipments and materials, and hence the firm not able to assure and not assure the prevention or preventive steps of mix-ups between the different components or drug products. This type of 483, the companies will get it with a simple requirement. This is the examples I am taking you just to understand ki these are the some basic requirements, but how they are, they can lead to serious observations. Now let us see again a small two-line requirement. If you go through this 21 CFR part 211.44 lighting, see what I was telling, total 21 CFR part 211 is hardly 8-9 pages guideline, huh? But on that requirements, thousands or millions of companies got the 483 observations, warning letters, or the even import alert. Just 8-9 pages of documents, and out of that I am just taking some observations and putting here. Take some example of this two-line requirement. Very simple, right? Adequate lighting shall be provided in all areas. Now, who can explain what is meant by adequate? For you it may be adequate, for me it may not be adequate, for inspector may not be adequate, for you it may be adequate. But still, let me tell you, this with a simple requirement, two-line requirement, companies got 483 observations with the simple requirement. How? How FDA can give the observations under this simple requirement? That the firm is not having the adequate lighting or adequate light source. If you go through this slide, it will take I think 5 seconds delay to view here. Yeah. If you go through this slide, inspector will observe that some lights are off, some lights are not working, while the other lights are working. That means what? See the FDA's expectation, okay. The area, now suppose take this example, which is we are getting in the picture. The area is provided with the 3 light sources. That means during the qualification of the area, when the room data sheet is prepared, it is evaluated and confirmed that 3 lights are required to ensure in the area that light is sufficient or adequate. But now one light is not working, that means in the area adequate lighting is not available. A simple requirement that one light source is not working. Still, you are prone to get the observation by FDA. Hope you got this point, what I was telling. During the area qualification, when the room data sheets are prepared, in that everything is written. How many lights, how many, what is the area of room, and how many view panels, everything is written. So this is the requirement of the area. So the area is provided with the 3 lights, means 3 lights are required to provide adequate lighting in the area. And if out of the 3 lights, if one light is not working, then definitely the room is not provided with the adequate lighting. Very simple requirement, but prone to get the observations by FDA. Up to here, do you have any doubt here? The next case study we will discuss, and then if you have any questions, we can touch upon some questions here. The next case study is with respect to the washing and toilet facilities. Again, if you go through this requirement, I have copied and pasted a simple requirement, 5-6 lines. Simple requirements. It is a simple requirement, only 5-6 lines are there. But the question is whether are we complying this requirement? Adequate washing facilities, this is copy and paste from the guideline. Adequate washing facilities shall be provided, including hot and cold water, soap or detergent, air dryers or single service towels, and clean toilet facilities easily accessible to working areas. Very simple, 5-6 lines. Everybody will say yes, we are complying. But let me tell you that if you go through the FDA 43 database, so many companies have the observation that the firm is not having hot water facility. Now, just understand the FDA perspective. The FDA perspective is the water is required for washing the hands and maintain the hygiene condition. If hands are not washed properly after use of toilet or washing purpose, then hands will not be cleaned properly and ultimately the product will get contaminated by the person or by the employees. Now, if the hot water is not provided by the uh, company, that means during winter season, as temperature is low, the people will avoid to use the cold water for washing. This is the normal psychology of some people. This chance FDA don't expect to take by the any person. So the nobody should take this chance, and that's the reason the company should provide hot and cold water. Many companies, I have seen that they have provided now the hot water provision, but still some companies are lacking in requirement of complying this requirement. Second requirement is single service towels. Some companies will put very good white color, good quality of towels in the washroom or washing area, toilet area where hand washing is done. But it will not suffice the requirement because the requirement is single service towel. If you put the cotton towel, which is reusable towel, how you ensure that that towel is single used? You can put hundreds of towels there, but the company will not able or the firm will not able to ensure that the towels provided in the washing area or the toilet facilities are used single or one time use only. There may be possibility that the same towel might be used by multiple people because you will not able to assure that towels are single use or not. That's the reason I suggest we should not use the service towels or the cotton towels or reusable washable towels there. Better way, you can use the uh, uh, one time use like tissue papers or tissue napkins or air dryers you can use. But let me tell you that only air dryer will not suffice the purpose. Let me tell you one thing. Inspectors are smart enough to check this requirement during the breaks. When there are some breaks and after breaks, when all the employees enters in the production, that time inspector will monitor these operations. If there are hundreds of employees, so just a 2 to 3 air dryers will not able to dry the hands completely. So you need to have air dryers as well as single service towels or the tissue napkins to comply this requirement for drying purpose. If you have any second thought or any additional information or any comments, you can put in the drop box. But this is what I want to tell you with respect to the simple requirement of washing and toilet facilities. With these case studies, I want to now touch upon the requirement about the specific doer and checker because inspectors are very keen to check the two batch records which are executed at the same time in adjacent area. Specifically, they will be interested in the person who has checked this activity. So that's the reason I have put this slide here, done by and checked by. It is called a doer and checker principle. The purpose of this doer and checker is, as we are engaged in manufacturing, processing, holding of a drug product, any error or any mistake will directly go to the patient and it may have some adverse impact or adverse effect to the patient. That is the reason, and as most of the operations are by the human being, personnel, so there may be possibility that there may be some error by the person. So to to so if there is some error, that error can be detected by some checker and can be rectified. This is the what the purpose of doer and checker requirement. But when FDA is observing the batch record, reviewing the batch record by of the two different batches or two different products which are executed at the same time in different areas, FDA inspector will find that same reviewer or same checker is going here and there. That means the checker is not able to witness the observation. Hence, that is the reason to address this thing. I have specifically pointed out some requirements by 21 CFR which are specifically recommend to have the second person check. Let us take the example of 211.101. Weighing, measuring or subdividing operations for components shall be adequately supervised. Each container or component dispensed to manufacturing shall be examined by second person. Very clearly they have mentioned. So now suppose if two BMRs are checked by inspector and both are the dispensing operation, or one is dispensing operation and another is the manufacturing operation, but the check by dispensing and the check by manufacturing is the same person, then you will get this observation as per 211.101. The operation is not examined by the second person because second person was not possible to present in two different locations at the same time. Similarly, there is another requirement. Each component shall either be added to the batch by one person and verified by a second person. Means in the batch record, whenever the operations are there, add 5 kg, add 2 kg, mix for 5 minutes, everywhere we are putting done by and check by. That means what? During check by, the operation should be verified the second person. And similar example is with respect to the yields. All the actual yields and theoretical yields should be calculated by the one person and independently verified by the second person. There is some another example that if there is a labeling operation or some coding operation, manually coding or manual labeling operation, then 100% examination should be there for correct labeling. And it should be performed by one person and independently verified by a second person if it is done by manually. And also to assure the batch uniformity from batch to batch, in the master production record, this is the provision that there should be checked by the independent authority. So these are some requirements. I put some requirement that yes, the person should present there itself during the operation. There is no second thought in that. But yes, if you want to if you want to skip this second check, then the FDA has given this also that we can go for automation. If the component addition means manufacturing addition or the dispensing operation is done by automated means. For example, if PLC operation is there, of course, it is considered that the PLC operation or whatever we are discussing, it is complying to part 21 CFR part 11. So any addition of the material or dispensing of the material or these are the operations. are done by the machine itself, like 5 kg addition programmed is there. So automatically 5 kg will be added in the machine. In such a case, only the second person who can verify yes whether the operation is followed, performing or not, that has to be check. So this is the uh, you know somewhat the provision is given by the FDA when uh, we deal with the automation. So if we have the automation, then it is really good. In some companies, even the dispensing also done by the automated softwares, automated computerized systems and systems. So in such a case, only the one person is required who can verify the operation. That's it. So there is no any requirement that QA should do or production should do or the engineer should do or warehouse should do. Only thing, it should be counter checked by other person or verified by the other person. Up to here, do you have any questions? Interested in effectiveness checks? Okay, so you can just put in the Dropbox that how many people are interested in this type of training, that effectiveness checks of training and effectiveness checks of kappa, so that I will have a next session on the kappa effectiveness checks and training effectiveness checks. You can put your comments on the chat box before going to the next part of eCFR, Electronic Code of Federal Regulations. Hope you are getting my point. If you have any question, you can now ask these questions before going to this eCFR part. So let me check any comment other than that. Okay. See, the CFR means what actually, 21 CFR you understood. This is the effective guideline. But there is the Office of Federal Register which is proposing some changes in the CFR guideline. But it is not practically possible to update the guideline frequently. So what happened? 21 CFR guideline is updated once in a year. But before that, periodically means in once in a 10 days, 15 days, 5 days, eCFR is updated periodically. And then final eCFR will be considered for updating the 21 CFR. That means it is simple thing that a draft copy of SOP, understanding the draft copy of SOP and the final version of the SOP. So if we are more prone to understand the eCFR requirements and all, that means we will be ready with the future 21 CFR requirement, because today it may be draft in the form of eCFR, Electronic Code of Federal Regulations, electronic CFR, but tomorrow that record may be the implemented or effective copy of the guideline, effective requirement. So it will be then mandatory. So now the question is, what is exactly the how CFR we can have check it. But before that, before going there, I just want to tell you the FDA's current thinking about eCFR. They consider eCFR as an unofficial compilation because they are not effective or final. But that does not mean we should forget this. Why I am telling this, if you refer 21 CFR part 211 and eCFR part 211, there is no much change. There is a very little changes are there. But if you compare the 21 CFR part 11 and eCFR part 11, there is a big difference. In 21 CFR part 11, which is implemented guideline in I think year 2003, very old, there provision of even deletion of the GMP data is also provided. But in eCFR part 11, there is no such a provision of deletion of the data. We are not supposed to delete any data, any raw data, or any raw GMP data from the system. That's the reason we need to maintain our practice of understanding the eCFR. Hope you understood this eCFR. Now let us have the view how sorry how we can access, or how we can review the eCFR, or how we can see the eCFR. First of all, I want to tell you that whatever now the slide will be there for eCFR, this is not the, just a minute, let the slide come. Some delay is there. Yeah. So whatever guideline now in this slide, it is a normal 21 CFR. It is not the eCFR. Okay. This is normal 21 CFR guideline, and many companies or many people have the practice. I will say that it is a wrong practice to download the guideline in PDF form and save it. Sorry, we should not download the guideline in the PDF form. We should not download the guideline in the PDF form. The reason is guideline will revise, guideline will be updated, and if it is in the PDF form available in with us, we will refer the same PDF. It may be the old one. So always I suggest all people that please don't refer the downloaded copy. Always go for the fresh copy from the internet. How you can get the fresh copy? You just put here 21 CFR part 211. You will get this link. But before clicking the link, ensure that whether it is from the FDA office or not. There are many links are available in the Google for many different country guidelines. And specifically that guidelines, if you check it, there will be something errors. So always go from the valid source or original source to get the guideline. So you click the this type of 21 CFR part 11 requirement, and then you will find current available guideline of 21 CFR, which is effective guideline. So what we will do, first point is we will not download the PDF version. Second thing, we will put the 21 CFR part 201 as a keyword, and then we will download it. And after download, verify the effective date of the guideline. Now if we click this screen will appear, and you will find that this is the current effective guideline on April 1. See, again, this is not the eCFR, electronic CFR, okay. It is only the CFR only which is implemented, means effective version of guideline. Now we will discuss about the eCFR. If you now see here below the arrow there is one comment box for eCFR. Click here. What you have to do, you have to click that eCFR link below the arrows. And once you click that eCFR link, you will get this type of table. If you click the eCFR link, you will get a table where you will find title, volume, chapter, subparts, and this type of column you will find out. So if you go through this eCFR, actually eCFR now table, which is now appearing on your screen, you will find that there are different volumes, and in front of each volume Now this is actually we are discussing about eCFR. Please, you can check where we have to click for which type of subpart. If we want to go for subpart 211, we have to click here. A arrow is displayed here. If it's a different subpart, then we have to go for another one. But this is I am showing for 21 CFR part 210 and 211. Similar way, you can go for eCFR for part 11 also, and you can access the eCFR for part 11. Here, one thing you will find that after clicking that, you will find the date. It is current June 8, 2020. Today is 11th June. That means just 2-3 days before this eCFR is updated. You are getting my point? See the date June 8, just 2-3 days before, and then you can click which subpart you are interested, and after that you can get it. One thing I want to tell you that I will share you the copy of presentation. 1 hour training is over. Maybe by tomorrow I will put the link, and I will share the link in the YouTube. From there you can get access the presentation link. Okay. So once you click that, you will find part 210, 211, 212 all are in the chronological order. So you can select which part you are interested. I have put here the I identified this both the parts by putting the mark here, part 210 and part 211. Hope you can see that. And now here, whatever part you are interested, you can click the part and you can access the current eCFR requirement for part 210 or part 211 or the other requirement. Similar way, you can access, you can check the 21 CFR part 11 also. Similar way, you can go through the eCFR and you can check the eCFR. Only you have to click the part 11. So you have to click the first column, first row 1 to 10. So that you will get the part 11 guideline. And now when I am now clicking here, this is the, you can see the content, subpart A, subpart B, subpart C, and below will be all subparts, and this arrow indicating the it is updated on 8 June. That means this eCFR when I prepared this presentation on 8 June was current. Hope this help you to understand the basics about interpretation of the 21 CFR part 210, 211 and introduction about the eCFR. With this, if you have any questions now, then yes, so that I can answer it. And or if any other topic you are interested, so please put your comments here so that I will consider that topic for preparing the training session. This is my contact details. So if you have any questions, even you can send me the WhatsApp, or even we can discuss on the topic, and I can answer. But if you have, you can put your questions on the chat box. Not a problem. I will answer right now. So I'll wait for 2 minutes for getting the answers. So in addition to that, I want to tell you that there is a YouTube channel, Hitendra Kumar Shah. You can go through that channel. There are different videos. These are all for free learning purpose. Video is on cleaning validation, aseptic operations, media field, contamination control concepts, then investigations, quality risk management, data integrity, audit trail review. There are a lot of points are there. So you can just consider these things for free learning of these videos. And of course there is a one requirement by Mr. Manoj Munjal and Mr. Ganesh that kappa effectiveness checks verification. Sure, what I will do, I will prepare a training and maybe on Saturday evening is okay for you to have this training. Saturday evening. Okay, there is a one requirement about whole time study in formulation. Okay, very good, no problem. So Saturday, can we have a training on Saturday? So you can you wanna put me message on this number also, no problem. Any questions up to here? Any doubt you have? Again, I am telling you that guidelines are very simple. Only the interpretation is the key. We should not make the error. The point is, senior people may be aware about the interpretation, but the the people who are at the down the line, they also should have the same understanding which the senior people are having. Hence, we need to have the detailed training on each sub part. So if you are the senior team member in your company or in your organization, I suggest you to conduct the training to your whole team on each sub part. So there is a some comment that yes, we can have the training on Sunday. For me, Sunday is okay, but for you, I don't know if you are interested. I don't mind because this month I am absolutely free. I am not traveling because all travel restrictions are there. So for me, all are Sunday only. Today is also Sunday and tomorrow is also Sunday. But if you are interested in Sunday, then no problem. Better way, I will have the training on Sunday so that many of you can attend this training. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for your kind attendance. These are my contact details. If you have any questions, you can ask me the questions. Thank you so much, and I always expect that ensure the all-time compliance. Thank you.